The recipes, views, and opinions expressed in this channel are solely those of the speaker. They do not reflect, collaborate, or substitute the views and opinions of a medical health professional. Please consult a professional with any dietary concerns and inquiries prior to trying the recipes. Welcome to the channel.
I'm cooking in Namia. I'm cooking in Namia.
Hey guys, thank you for clicking on this video to get my baked flavorful chicken shawarma, also known as my chicken habibi. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. The goal of this channel is to provide you with foods that are nutritious and satisfying without breaking your calorie banks or sacrificing on flavor. The dish that we are about to cover today is high in protein, potassium, and calcium. Now, we do need a spice mix, and I am one who does like to have my spices from scratch. You can actually buy this spice mix from the store, or you can follow the steps that I'm going to go through because we are from the From Scratch clan, right? I don't know why that made me laugh. Anywho, I did borrow this spice from a YouTuber by the name of SmileyGirl230 on YouTube. I did tweak mine, but predominantly this recipe does come from her channel. I also did borrow the sauce mix that I'm using in here from a YouTuber by the name of Yemeni Kitchen. Both of them have great Mediterranean dishes, and they are killing it in the baking department. So make sure you stop by their channel and learn some things about baking, because yeah, especially Yemeni Chicken. Not chicken. Yemeni Kitchen, she's got that baking thing down, baby. Very much so. So anyway, I digress. Let's talk about my chicken shawarma recipe. Now, my recipe does call for dark meat, so chicken thighs. If you would like to make it with chicken breasts, that's up to you. I prefer the dark meat because they are flavorful, and it's not something that I eat often, so when I do, I absolutely indulge. At 233 calories a serving, let us jump into this recipe and get ourselves a bold, flavorful protein dish. And as always, stay tuned for the old wisdom spice that is coming. So to start us off, we will need to mix up our spice mix. If you have a coffee grinder, or if you want to just mix it in a bowl, it's up to you. You will be needing some coriander powder, some ginger powder, some cumin powder, some turmeric powder, garlic powder, cloves, peppercorn, sumac, habanero. You can always switch that up for either cayenne or paprika, or you can leave it out if you don't want it hot. And then we're going to put in some a cinnamon stick. Go ahead and grind that into a very fine powder and set that aside. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab our chicken. I usually wash my meat, so we're going to go ahead and wash our meat here. Wash your meat in cold water. Remember, it's always going to be cold water when you are touching any of your meats. And go ahead and remove any of the fats and make sure that the meat is rinsed out well. And then I like to make sure that my chicken sits in some acidic thing, so I mix some vinegar with water and I let it sit for about 15 minutes. This cuts through like the slime and any gunk that is stuck on the chicken. And then once you have left it for 15 minutes, go ahead and rinse out your chicken very well. And of course, if you're going to be washing chicken, make sure you are disinfecting your areas. Anywhere that has touched the chicken or any meats, make sure you disinfect that. You want to get that salmonella that's going to build if you let it sit there. You don't want to have that. And then go ahead and bloat out any excess water that you have on the chicken. Now, in a separate bowl, you're going to go ahead and grab the yogurt and then mix it with your shawarma mix, or basically the spice mix, and then add some salt to it. Make sure you're tasting it for seasoning. Go ahead and wear some gloves because we're going to be using our hands to mix in the chicken. I would not recommend using your hands directly because we do have some habanero in here and we have sumac, so that's acid and fire. Your hands will be burning forever if you use your hands directly. Go ahead and mix that well and then cover it and place your bowl into the refrigerator for about 4 hours. We're going to let our chicken marinate. So while our chicken is marinating, let us talk about the old wisdom spice of the day, and that is sumac. So sumac is a small flower tree that is kind of native to Iran and Western Asia, the Arabian Peninsula, Mediterranean area. Yeah, let's just say Mediterranean. The name sumac is actually red, and red in terms of medieval French, Latin, and Syrian languages. It is noted to have been used during medieval times. So if you know anything about medieval times, it's European history, and this is around the Middle Ages, so 5th to the 15th century time frame. And this is around the time when the Roman Empire was falling, and we transitioned into what they now call the Renaissance, or the Age of Discovery. Sumac, as a spice, actually did make its mark during that time and was actually frequently added into cookbooks, and it was used by affluent Western Europeans. There was a specific dish that did use sumac predominantly as the core recipe, and it was called samakia, and it frequently was anglicized as samakia by the Europeans. I can't say it. It's really funnily phonetically written out here. Now, if you do taste sumac directly, it tastes tangy, so it's sour and acidic, and it has it's reminiscent of like lemon juice, and it amplifies the dish. You don't want to put too much of it because it will take over a dish. It is known to have like antioxidant properties and actually supports the body. So when you're talking about antioxidants, think about protecting your cells from damage, and then reducing any oxidization that happens in the body. So any inflammation, gym people who work out in the gym, this would be a very good spice to include in your dishes. It is known to prevent inflammatory illnesses like heart disease, cancer. It promotes the circulation of blood in your system, balances out your blood sugars, and of course alleviates muscle pain, which is what I just mentioned earlier. Now, it's frequently like dusted over meats, salads, breads, and desserts, and mostly that you'll see that in like Mediterranean stuff. It's very colorful in nature, and it's often used to substitute anything that calls for acid, so lemon juice, vinegars, and mostly because it's not as pungent as those elements are, is the reason why most people substitute it. Now, sumac is actually related to cashews and mangoes, so if you are allergic to any of that, you might want to stay away from sumac. There is a very big warning when you're buying this spice. Now, there is sumac, and then there is poison sumac. And the poison sumac is a no-no. So the poison sumac, when it does grow, does produce like white colored fruits, while the sumac itself produces the red. So you have to know the difference if you are foraging to try and pick out the spice itself. So I highly recommend that if you're going to buy this, make sure you're buying it from the Middle Eastern stores, because they are the ones who kind of use it a lot in their dishes, so they are very familiar with what it is. Now, there are studies that have been done that if you do take about 3 grams of sumac for 3 months, it could be beneficial for anybody who's diabetic and anybody who is susceptible to like cardiovascular diseases. This might be a spice you want to consider, but as always, speak to your health professional first before you try this spice. And that is the old spice for the day. So let's pick up with our marinated chicken. So we're going to go ahead and start prepping to bake this. So first off, we're going to go ahead and grab a baking dish and we're going to line it up, or you can just leave it as it is. I like to line it up because I'm busy and I ain't got time to be scrubbing no dishes. So I line it up with some aluminum foil, and then into the aluminum foil you're going to be putting in some safflower oil, and we'll be talking about safflower oil in other videos is what I'm trying to say. And then using a pair of tongs or put on some gloves and start layering up the chicken into the dish. And then we're going to go ahead and set our oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. And once it's heated up, we're going to pop our marinated chicken in there for about 40 minutes to an hour. And when it's done, go ahead and turn it off, and voila, you have some chicken shawarma. Most of the time you see it, like, if you see how the shawarma is cooked, it's usually on some kind of a peg, and it's kind of layered and stacked together, and then they cut it off. If you've ever gone, if you go to a gyro store, you'll see it set up this way. This is my simplest way of actually cooking it without having to go through that process. Of course, that process has the roasted flavor to it. However, this works best for me. You can put it into, pita, sandwiches, salads, rice, or eat it on its own. It's absolutely fantastic. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is my chicken habibi, my baked flavorful chicken shawarma. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified when I post new recipes on my channel. Please be sure to sign up on my website, imcookingwithnamia.com, to get full recipe details. You can also purchase this downloadable recipe card on my website, along with any other of your favorite recipes on my channel. Your support will keep these recipes coming and is greatly appreciated. See you on the next video.